So it was -1 last night and extremely cold. I had to put my wool vest on with my jacket along my bee suit to stay warm this morning as I moved some hives out. Super cold, but they changed the forecast on us. That nice promise of warmth has kind of slipped away, and I'm not sure exactly where it's gone. So we're pushing the limits today. It must be, what's the temperature in the truck today?
The truck said it was 8.
8 degrees, and these bees are just flying a little bit, but we're trying to press through another couple hundred hives today just to make sure. We're doing assessments and dropping patties just to make sure that these big colonies have protein on hand. We have 2 days of rain coming and cold, and it doesn't look like until later next week these hives will be able to get up and flying again, which is extremely frustrating. But I'll talk a little bit pessimistic, and then I'll come around and tip back some colonies, and I'll just show you what I'm looking at. Could you tip this colony back, Gary? And we'll tip it back into the sun. Just try to get in the sun here so we can see what's going on. We have boxes of bees. I mean, we're going through a major hatch right now. This was a medium colony that we upgraded to a strong. So, I mean, this queen has a little bit of spirit in her. What is she, a 2015? So she's got to be a younger supersedure. But look, it's just a box of bees. And if you look what's going on, they're just hanging off the frames, which is not a good sign because that's going to allow the queen to come down and lay queen cells. Come on, bees. Well, they're not moving for me. So they're starting to come down. They're laying drone brood underneath here. So that's a really good sign. That means this colony has some girth. It's feeling really good. You're going to notice some queen cups here, but they haven't had any attention put to them yet. But they will next week, I bet you. Once this hive goes through more of its hatch, this colony is going to feel extremely full. She's going to come down and start preparing to swarm. So we have to get space on top to be able to pull these bees off the bottoms of the frames, move them up into the top box to kind of avert the swarming spirit. So we're just entering into that. This cold weather is not going to really entice that swarming spirit of these colonies. Let's tip this next one here. But just the fact that they're going to run out of space is just going to promote a crowded nest. And we don't want a crowded nest this time of year. So this is what I'm tipping back all day long. Beautiful. Puts me in a great mood. And they haven't drawn any, oh yeah, they are. There's drone cells all the way down the bottom here. So they're feeling really good. And we have a few queen cups. Where did I see some? Down there. No attention paid to them. So we got to get space on these guys. Alrighty. And a drone. We haven't seen too many walking drones, but they're starting to appear. So that's, you know, things are progressing. But I'm a little bit torn. I'm not sure exactly what to do. I hate giving space to colonies when it's cold out, because you just disturb the entire, you know, all the cluster dynamics is going inside. You all of a sudden give them a huge amount of space up top, and it just kind of shocks that nest, and it induces stress. Now, colonies that big, it won't matter a damn, because they're just going to kind of envelope up into that top box and they'll just take it over. But colonies that have marked blue, they're maybe not quite as strong as that, and they all of a sudden lose their ceiling. It goes up on top over another box. Their cluster will kind of snap back a little bit, and their entire cluster dynamics change, and it can induce stress. And if it's really cold and wet, kind of like what's coming here, you know, it can only promote disease like chalk brood. or you get into the other viral diseases or bacterial diseases. One thing we could do is we could add this space underneath that brood nest, and that way all those bees that hatch out, it'll give them a place to go. It's not going to prevent the swarming at all, anything like that, because that queen's moving down. You want to keep her moving up, but it gives the place for those bees to go and kind of relieves that swarming spirit just a little bit. But it's a hell of a lot of work going through, lifting boxes and slapping the seconds underneath. It's a lot of work. Then you got to come around and put that second back on top, just because that's the way you want the queen moving. You want to move up and lay out that split, so then you can take that box away later on as surplus. So I don't know what to do. We'll proceed with our work. We'll allow these couple cold rainy days to pass us by, and then maybe midweek it'll warm up a little bit, and then we'll slap out 300 or 400 seconds onto the apiary, just to provide a little bit of space to allow these colonies to develop. And hopefully they upgrade the forecast a little bit to a little bit more warmth, just to allow us to proceed with our work.